Today's poem is called The White Orchid, and it's all about meeting somebody new, then their presence will plant inside your roots deeper than you could ever expect, and slowly you begin to fall in love. It's all lovely dovely. So, this is The White Orchid. The wind of life carried me to your land. You were waiting for me with a stretched out hand. The meeting we planned, the hours we didn't know we'd want to expand. Two strangers who almost didn't meet because we weren't on the same street. But eventually we took a seat, and the innocent words were sweet. The summer was ending, yet the flowers were still blooming. We were both recovering, equally ready for discovering. The air felt like May, the love month, they say, but it wasn't our initial play, as we both wanted opposites of the day. The coffee planted in us new delight. It started at daylight and stretched into late night. It was the unknown cliff's height, a bright side that might be worth to write. The stay should have been brief, but by listening to my every word, you gave me belief. Your playfulness carried safety, giving me relief, and soon you became my daydream thief. I prefer bright things that bring me peace, so dark things can stop my colorful release. Open windows filled with indirect light crease, so I can shine as if I were in grease. The warm nighttime temperature decreases, so I can receive the blanket made of fleece. The growing condition where my petals bloomed, and with you, my white petals colored. My favorite color slowly appeared, the one you sweetly perfumed. I noticed every small drop of water you invested, making every shade of my pink invested. Not afraid to try anything you suggested, because with you, my mind was bloomingly rested. 4 a.m. became our bedtime. We laughed, promising we'd do better the next time, but playfulness and joy became our rhyme. It was the gentleness in your land that sped up time, and fertility in my petals we were ready to climb. Eventually, proper growing condition turned weeks to months, yet still we made every day count. Soon, joyful company started to pull love stunts, putting our hearts to the forefront. In no time, the fireflies flew away, turning it into a frosty season, slowly lighting up the distant light on your beacon. But our garden was blooming, committing a treason. And we weren't searching for a reason. We lived in our personal pink world, not caring about the frosty afterworld. And when the light pulled you out of my hold, I wasn't afraid, as you wrapped me in fleece, safely curled. Our next season was unknown, but your safety made it feel like home. For some time, willing to live through the phone, knowing you wouldn't leave me on my own. So, I gave you a see you later kiss, not overthinking this pink bliss, knowing I'd miss, but it was okay, as this wasn't our goodbye kiss. I'm not sure if I should say that this is the only poem that is kind of loving or that has love in it, because in certain aspects all of them has love in it, but this one is different in a way that it truly doesn't have heartbreak. It's all about meeting somebody new. It's all about hope, deepening affection, and resilience. It's about falling in love and knowing that even when the hard times will come, that you will overcome it together, that you will, that there, because you both want to do it, and that there is safety. And that's what this poem is about. I think part of the reason I decided to name this poem White Orchid and then also use imaginary of flowers and gardening is that that's what falling in love is for me, what it is representing. It means that I already have my own garden, I am already tending to it, so I am kind of my own gardener. And then when you're falling in love, suddenly there is also some other garden you so far do not know that well. And there's also some other gardener, and when you're falling in love, it means that you're kind of starting visiting each other's garden, getting to know each other, your gardens, and what is hiding in there, what they are planting, how they are taking care of it. And then As the times will go on, as the weeks will switch to months, you will also start tending to their gardens willingly. It's not like they even asked you to do it, but mostly you will start, for example, watering their flowers, you will start planting their weeds out and do all this little small stuff just because you want to do it, because you want to take care of their garden, you want to take care of them. So you will naturally start visiting more often, taking care in more ways. And that's why I decided to use this imaginary. That's how this poem starts, with two strangers meeting. Literally, the first sentence is, "The wind of life carried me to your land." And I wrote it because, in a way, it felt like a fate, and it doesn't matter how long you've stayed in each other's life, how long you've been tending to each other's gardens. The time that you spend in their garden and the time that they spent in your garden, it was so meant to be. And especially as the times will go on, and when you will look back at that situation or at that time, like why it happened, what that person meant, you are suddenly like, oh, so that's the reason. And that's why this poem is so sweet for me, because even though, spoiler alert, we broke up. It was our goodbye kiss. It wasn't bye kiss, but it was goodbye kiss, goodbye. And at the time, even when I was writing this, even when I was writing this, I already knew that it happened. Because funny story is that even though this is kind of really like poem full of love and full of life and full of hope and all these gooey wooshy feelings that you're feeling when you're in love, I was in deepest of heartbreak. I think it was like 2 or 3 months after the heartbreak or after the breakup, and I was so sad. I had a really hard time to even be around myself, but I wrote it in that time when I couldn't really sleep, when I cried probably more than I laughed. I just had a really hard time, and I still wrote it because that's what that person represented for me. It represented that I fell in love. And so, in a way, I was reflecting in this poem back at the time and kind of capturing the essence or the feeling of what is happening when you're falling in love. And we literally met at the end of the summer, so the summer was ending. But the weather was so nice, and especially in my country, like we have also harsh winters and etc. Even though it's changing, but still, like we don't have like warm temperatures across the whole year. So even though it was autumn already, it was so nice. Like literally, we had 30 degrees, and I remember that I was still wearing the dresses and enjoying basking in the sunlight. Therefore, it felt like we are still kind of in May, where the temperatures are kind of increasing and it's warm and the flowers start blooming, even though we were in autumn and the flowers were kind of not blooming anymore, or a lot of flowers weren't blooming anymore, because of that feeling that he put into my garden, because of those feelings that he brought, that he watered my plants. It felt like we were back in May. And May is also love month, they say. So that's why I decided to put it everything in May, because the weather was kind of similar. The flowers were maybe not literally, but here in my heart, the flowers were blooming so much. So much. And when you meet somebody who is really amazing, when they are listening to your every word and when they are caring, suddenly it will all start changing. It will all start blooming so fast, and you don't even know how they will become your daydream thief. And that's what happened to me. Slowly my petals colored, and I was noticing everything. I was noticing every time he visited my garden, every time he watered my plants, every time he invested something in me. And that was the feeling I never want to forget. And I'm not even saying that I don't want to forget the feeling with that person, even though I am cherishing also those feelings I had with that person. But it means that I don't want to forget that feeling because that's something I wish to find also in the future. And when you have those feelings, time is boundless. Minutes last hours, hours run as fast as minutes, weeks turn to months, and you are just stuck in that feeling, trying to capture it all, trying to see it all, feel it all, but it is running so fast that even the May, even the warm feelings, suddenly there will be some frosty season that will be approaching. And it means that no matter how long or how much you are avoiding reality or the real life, it will come. And that's what fireflies represent. It means that they are flying away, that okay, you stayed in that time, we attended, we were present in your gardens, we gave you some time to bask in it, to know each other, but now we are going away and this is real life and you have to deal with it. And it's up to you how you deal with it. So that's one reason why I wrote it, and the second is literally the winter was approaching. Therefore, fireflies are flying away. The small light is flying away because the frosty season is approaching. But our garden was blooming, committing a treason. Despite frosty season approaching, our flowers were still blooming. And in the winter, many flowers do not bloom because it's winter. So it felt kind of like something extraordinary, something that shouldn't be happening, but it was happening, and we weren't searching for the reason. We weren't. We kind of only lived in our own personal pink world. And that's kind of what is happening when you're falling in love. When you are in love, that many times you just don't care. Even about like mundane things or the most basic things. Like you are just there in that moment and you don't care what will be in the next moment. So when the light slowly lighted up on his beacon, as he wasn't from my country, he was from the other country, and the Christmas was coming, he was supposed to go home, so it felt like distant light on his beacon, on his home beacon lighted up, guiding him back home. It felt like the light pulled him out of my hold, but I wasn't scared because he gave me safety, he gave me assurance that somehow it will be okay. And I believed it, and so I just gave him a see you later kiss, not a goodbye kiss. So I haven't said goodbye to him. I just say bye. And fast forward some time, it was the goodbye kiss. But even though it destroyed me, part of it really destroyed me because it wasn't our goodbye kiss, right? It was. And this is something that haunted me for many months because even though I got some kind of closure, it wasn't the closure I needed. It's not even, it also wanted, but even when I put aside what I wanted, it's like I needed it, but I've never got it. So that means that we never truly got to say goodbye properly, and that was something that kind of blew me away because I truly believed in us. I believed in that person, I believed in me, I believed in both of us, that we are grown up women, that we are grown up people, and that we have enough intelligence and enough respect for each other, for the situation, for what we had, that we could do it. But as the feelings changed overnight and as the things happened, that was our goodbye, kind of, or that was our official goodbye or unofficial, and it felt like, why? Why? And the why and no, this is not true, I don't believe it, was the hardest part of it. But still, even though I had these feelings, all those feelings when I was writing this poem, I decided not to put any of those feelings. I decided to be basically naive when I was writing this, and I decided to put kind of like pink glasses on for the sake of what we had. This poem is me putting respect on that relationship we had. this is me respecting the time I experienced with that person and everything he told me. Even though when I was writing this, I still had many pages yet to be written, many feelings yet to be healed and burned and healed again, many feelings yet to be discovered, wounds to be cleaned and healed. There was still the whole book ahead of me, but I still decided to write it in this way because this is how I want to remember part of that relationship, because that's how it felt. And to conclude is, this is my celebration of love. Even though this is full of heartbreak, this book, that one poem is me celebrating my love. It's not even celebrating the relationship. In certain ways, yes, but it means that this is me celebrating my love, who I am, and how much I can love. And it represents for me that even when I'm reading it, I will still get these goofy feelings, and I'm all smiley and bubbly inside, and it's like, oh, okay. And it means for me, it represents for me how it feels to fall in love, how it feels to be in love, how it feels to have somebody else also tending to your garden. Even though I can do it fully on my own, it's nice to have also somebody else there. And that's what I want to remember from it. I truly wanted to capture those feelings, and I think I did. That's what I will be searching for until I will find it. This is something I want to have until the rest of my life, because even though I love myself, I love people, but I also love to be loved. I want to be loved, and this showed me that I can do it so much more, that feeling is so much better than I ever expected, and I can't even imagine how good it will get when it will be so much better than it was. So it means that I will be searching for those feelings. This is my representation of love, so that poem is my token of my love. And that's why I decided to put it in the book, especially at the beginning, and why I haven't hinted at that poem that something went wrong or that, well, the reality turned out different. Because when I had that relationship, I didn't know how it will turn out, and now, even when I know how it turned out, I would still do it 100 times again and again, because I got so many good things. I got so many good things from it. And I think I will leave this video here as it is, even though I haven't said many things, but I'm a firm believer that some things are self-explanatory, and like me putting love poem inside of the heartbreak book, heck, even me writing that poem when I was feeling so freaking down, I think that's self-explanatory. So, if you are healing, if you are in a heartbreak, I hope that this poem helps you. I hope this series will help you, where I'm reading my poems, and I'm planning on doing so much more, because we still, at the moment, we are, I think, at the third video, so there is so much more to go. And it's also me talking to someone, because even though I have friends, I don't really have a person or people to talk about my feelings, or not even my feelings, because no, not my feelings, because I'm treating this as an online diary where I would like to talk about what I've wrote, but not the feelings, but I would like to talk about my work. Literally, I'm treating it as my work and as a way on how to help people. So this is my online diary, and if this will help even one person, I'm super glad for it. So if you're going through the heartbreak, please remember, you will heal. You are so much stronger than you think. You are loved, and you deserve to be loved. And if you are here just because you love poetry, or me, no, if you are here too because you love poetry, I really hope that this series will bring you some joy and that you will like it. Either way, leave your comments in the leave your thoughts in the comments, and I will be happy to read what you think about this and to talk about it more. So yeah, this was White Orchid, so see you with the next one. Bye!